AMD is struggling to keep the 9800X3D in stock, but they didn't struggle to beat Intel. The 5060 might not have a 16-pin power connector, and 9070 XT early March. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Thursday, February 6, 2025. We're going to start off today talking about the big hits that AMD's been having. They had their quarterly earnings report where Dr. Lisa Su got to discuss various different things that have made them a slam dunk home run hit of a company. And we're also getting some retailer data kind of backing a lot of that up. So Mind Factory, which is a large retailer over in Germany, publicly reports the sales of their different things that they have at retail, and the 9800X3D is accounting for 90% of the Zen 5 sales, which matches what Dr. Lisa Su said during the earnings report, that they are having their highest sellout in many years as they went through the holiday season, and they are struggling to get them in stock, and that they're seeing a very strong adoption of their new products, and that the CPUs have been constrained, but they're continually shipping, and they should be catching up with demand sometime soon for everybody. I've also kind of seen this. I've been trying to get some 9800X3Ds for builds, and orders that I placed like at the beginning of January finally got here on Monday, so we are seeing some alleviation there. But it's very unlike the RTX 5090, where it's not felt like a paper launch. You can get the 9800X3D. It's been regularly restocked. It's not this fairy unicorn. It's just difficult, and it's difficult to get it at MSRP. That's been the thing, but there's plenty of them out there. They're selling like hotcakes, and Dr. Lisa Su indicating that. But when it compares to the rest of the Ryzen 9000 series, it's basically all of them. You got the 9700X is coming in second place, and then basically everything else nobody's picking up. Potentially, they're waiting for the 9950 and 9900X3D chips to do some more adoption, but the 9800X3D has just been a huge hit. Let me know if you've been waiting to pick one up. Has it been difficult for you? You're kind of waiting until stock settles, or are you potentially waiting for the 7800X3D? Because that's also been difficult to get as well. Let me know what you're thinking down below in the comments while I tell you, maybe if you're looking to upgrade, what you should do about it with today's sponsor. They're finally here. The next generation of GPUs have officially hit the shelves, and lucky for you, today's sponsor Jawa is here to make your upgrade even easier. If you've been around here or other PC spaces enough, you probably already know all about Jawa, but I'm still gonna tell you anyways. Jawa is the #1 spot for buying and selling PC components online. Whether you're looking for a pre-built system or looking for individual components, you're in the right place. From start to finish, Jawa makes the entire process super simple. For instance, let's say you're looking to sell your old and useless 4070 Ti. It's as simple as selecting your model and condition, and boom, there's your price, and now you can sell it right to Jawa. Now you've got a nice chunk of change to put towards a shiny new 50 series. If you're lucky and your upgrade is already listed on Jawa, you can simply put your trade-in value towards whatever you have your eye on. And no matter what you're buying from Jawa, they work hard to ensure the process for both parties is safe, secure, and convenient. All listings on Jawa are manually reviewed by a Jawa employee, and certain sellers can even be officially verified by Jawa. If you need a little help though, Jawa's community Discord is full of knowledgeable enthusiasts ready to offer a helping hand and great advice. You can check out what an upgrade through Jawa can look like for you by exploring their trade-in program today. Use the link in the description to get started on your upgrade right now. Also, don't forget to use code UFD10 for 10% off, up to 10 bucks. Thanks to Jawa for sponsoring today's video. Well, maybe Intel needs to do a few more sales on Jawa, because with that earnings report that AMD had, we got details on their data center sales, and they beat Intel for the first time in Q4 2024. AMD doing numbers, whereas Intel is continuing to struggle. So the data center business made $3.86 billion for AMD in Q4, whereas for Intel it was only $3.4 billion. So a nice significant jump for Team Red. But if we just take a look at their quarterly earnings report, you'll see that data center is up 9% in terms of net revenue, up 11% in profit. Client is up 23% of revenue and 62% of profit. Gaming is a weird one, because quarter on quarter it's up 22% in revenue and 317% when it comes to profit. But when you look year on year, it's a significant downturn. Q4, usually big holiday sales, but even with the PlayStation 5 Pro not being enough to help AMD out here, they're down 59% revenue, 78% operating income, and then embedded, they're down a little bit or flat when it comes to revenue. So AMD's seeing some successes. Operating income on client is up 711% year on year. So AMD's seeing some major wins workstations, data center, regular client CPUs. Gaming's probably their weakest thing, and just so you know, gaming kind of includes their discrete GPUs as well as the console, so we're including the Series S, Series X. You got things like the Steam Deck in there as well as the discrete GPUs, and they're really struggling in this department. And it makes sense, PlayStation 5 Pro doesn't appear to have been a huge hit for Sony, and when it comes to the RX 7000 series, it's been AMD's weakest launch in many, many generations, despite it being a very good value for most gamers. It's been quite tricky, but NVIDIA's not trying to be tricky when it comes to their Reflex software. They just want you to know that it doesn't support AMD. It doesn't support AMD's FSR frame generation, and you just have to deal with it. Reflex's low latency is only for NVIDIA's frame gen, and the 16-pin power connector is only for the higher-end cards. With the latest leaks on the 5060 and 5060 Ti that we're expecting to get in March, these should have normal 8-pin power connectors. Thank goodness. So if you're upgrading to a 5060 from like a 1060, you don't need to hopefully upgrade your power supply all that much. And Reece will maybe potentially save you some money on that if you're looking to do that.
Yo, welcome back to UFD Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet. It is secret deals today because honestly, I have a headache and I don't want to stare into bright lights. So here we are, and first up we have the EPO Maker EP64. This little EP, guys, is a 60% wireless hard-swappable mechanical keyboard, which you can pick up for only $22.99, making it $23 or 50% off. But then next up we have the Apple AirPods 4. The new guys are going for only $99.99, making it $30 off. And then lastly today we have the Sapphire Pulse Radeon RX 7900 XT 20 gig graphics card, which is down to only $649.99, making it $60 off. I feel like this one is going to sell out real quick, so hope you guys get to this in time. And with that, the deals are done. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, I'm gonna hand you off back to Brett for the rest of your hot news. Cheers.
Well, Reece, it turns out that the people who got the Hyte cases might have gotten a good deal when it comes to their riser cables, with Hyte publishing that they have full compatibility with the RTX 50 series on their luxury riser cables that they include in their Y60, Y70, and Y40 cases. This is good news, especially here at UFD Tech, because the 5090 PC that we're giving away is actually in one of the Terramilk Y70s, and with a 5090 on that riser cable, should hopefully make things a little bit easier. It's nice that Hyte tested this out, but they say that it gets full support at PCI Express 5.0 16 lane speeds, and that it should be mostly fine, which is good to know, especially as things are going into production, which Apple is looking to do for their M5 chips that should be making their debut later this year. The M5 is expected to go into the new MacBook Pros, iPad Pros, and potentially even the Vision Pro, which is a big upgrade considering that the Vision Pro is currently only on the M2 chip. There's not really a whole lot known here, just besides the fact that it's going into production. They're working on it with TSMC, and it might make its way to consumer electronics later on. But while the M5 chip is now in production, Intel's Nova Lake looks to be getting some huge new details when it comes to what we should be expecting. Nova Lake going to be a desktop chip that you'll slap in a PC sometime in 2026, and according to these leaks, which again, take it with a huge grain of salt, this is one of the very first rumors we're hearing about Nova Leak, so it's not 100% clear if this is ever going to play out, but it's intriguing nonetheless that Intel is going for the core stuffing approach. They're stuffing so many cores in this, you might want to call him Joey Chestnut of the CPU industry, with 16 P cores and 32 E cores going into the highest Nova Lake S processors. It's going to have two different batches of 8 plus 16 cores. So essentially, what is the current highest end chip of the Ultra 9285K or 14900K? Those have 8 P cores, 16 E cores, smashing two of those together and then producing a desktop consumer gaming chip for you that has a lot of cores. It has 48 total cores, 16P, 32E, just wow. The HX chips, which likely will go into mobile, will have 24 cores. It's a lot to take in what the clock speed would be, what the TDP would be. Is this actually going to happen? Can it even fit into the socket? Will this require a new motherboard with a big chunker? Well, remains to be seen. We'll keep you updated as we learn more about Nova Lake in the coming weeks and months. And we're learning more about the RX 9000 series GPUs as time's ticking on by. Dr. Lisa Su in that earnings report discussing some of the next-gen GPU details details, confirming that yes, indeed, the GPUs will be coming not just in March, but in early March. And one of the big things to note here is that she indicates that it's going to bring 4K gaming to mainstream players, which hopefully means that it's in that less than $500 price point. That would be great if it potentially can go toe-to-toe with a 4070 Ti Super. That is okay. 4K gaming. Maybe they put 24 gigs of VRAM on it to say that it's really good at 4K. They're not going to do that. It's expected to be a 16 gig card, but I can dream, can't I? However, the reports are from other rumors, not just Dr. Lisa Su saying that this is going to come out in early March, but new indications are that March 6th looks like a very likely date for these GPUs to launch, which is exactly in 1 month from today, or exactly 4 weeks, because that's how February on a non-leap year works. March and February have the exact same days on the exact same days of the week. Fun fact, in case you didn't know that. March 6th, 4 weeks from now, hopefully we should be able to snag a 9070 XT. That would be nice to see. Thank you, Dr. Lisa Su, for all of that information. And you guys left some inspiration in the comments yesterday on Hot News, so let's go ahead and check those out. Ebon saying, imagine paying $5,000 to a scalper, bricking your RTX 5090, and not having a warranty because you bought from a scalper. I don't want to imagine that nightmare scenario. That sounds like a difficult situation to be in. No thank you. And then Amorio saying, only a couple instances of 5090 failure, so that's like a 10% failure rate. When I read that for the first time, I said, that you got an actual laugh out of me. I appreciate that. There were more jokes like that, but yours is the first that I saw, and it made me chuckle just a little bit. G.I. Joel saying GPU prices won't come down until Jensen is wearing a human skin jacket. I didn't like that visual. I didn't like that at all. No, thank you. And then Coco Fashosho saying, I got a 7900 XTX last year for about $900 and I'm loving it. I know I probably sound like a Team Red shill, but I feel like I'm doing my part in encouraging competition in the graphics space by choosing to support NVIDIA's main competitor. Number one, that's great. $900 for a 7900 XTX a year ago? I'm glad you enjoy it. Number two, none of this reads like a Team Red shill to me. It sounds like you bought a GPU that does what you needed to do. You paid a price that you were willing to pay. You couldn't have found a better GPU at $900. NVIDIA's cards aren't better than the XTX at $900. And listen, you're not doing it because you're saying that you love AMD and you love their cards. You're doing it because you want to encourage competition. That sounds like you're a shill for the consumer. You're a shill for your fellow gamer. You're a shill for the right things. Potentially. I have no malice towards your comment. And then Zephyr saying, it's amazing how 3 different companies have failed spectacularly at the same time with their GPUs, with the GPUs either being a paper launch, not even officially launching at all, or just having a really bad driver overhead. $billion companies falling flat on their faces. What a time to be alive. This is, I was thinking about this for a little bit after reading your comment, and why did NVIDIA rush it out? What was their incentive to putting out their cards at the end of January? Why couldn't they wait until February? Number one, AMD's not competing with the 5090, so what's the point there? They're not really trying to, they're really not harming their reputation by taking an extra month or two. There's no earnings reports that are going on. There's very little that I felt like that they had to head off in order to make this happen. Maybe it's just that they wanted to have something to announce at CES, I guess, but they could have done that and said the card was coming out in late February. That would have been fine. But it's in reality, the 5090 is coming out in February because very few people are able to get them. I don't know. I don't know what the incentive structure was there for NVIDIA to just kind of shove them out the door. Very odd. Very odd. And then X Impious saying, we're giving away a 5090 PC. 5090s are bricking. Hey, wouldn't it feel better knowing that you didn't spend any money on the dead GPU? I would feel good about that. You get a free high-end graphics card that's now a paperweight, but guess what? No skin out of your pocket, no dime out of your wallet, no sweat, no problem. Maybe, I don't know. If you wanna enter into the 5090 PC giveaway, we're live over on Twitch. Come check us out, twitch.tv/UFD Tech, or don't, whatever you wanna do. And I wanna end this episode of Hot News. I'll be back here hopefully tomorrow with more of the hottest tech news for you.